What's going on, my Fly Happy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. I felt like this information would have been really good for all of us to see on the channel, man, because we all were asking, how do they end up picking the team that is going to host the All-Star game? This is going to tell us right here, man. And then on top of that, the president of the Phoenix Mercury team feel like the Chicago Sky might not have a chance to have a successful All-Star weekend, man. Woo-hoo. We're going to talk about that. And then also we got Unrivaled losing players after that NECA announcement, man. We're about to get all the way into it. But before we do that, y'all make sure y'all hit that like and hype for your boy if you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 34.9. So if you can help me out with that, I highly appreciate it. And don't forget to get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Let's get it. All right, so like I stated, Annie Costabile ended up dropping this article talking about the All-Star weekend, All-Star game, how it all comes about, right? So let's start it right here. For the second time in 5 years, the Chicago Sky will host the WNBA All-Star game. When the announcement of the 2026 site was made in October, the questions were clear. Why Chicago again so soon? Why not one of the remaining original franchises, New York or Los Angeles instead? Now check this out, man. This is what's going to shock y'all. Neither franchise bid. Nobody wanted it. In fact, the Sky was the only franchise to express interest in hosting, according to multiple league sources. Oh my goodness. Nobody wanted a piece of that action. Nobody wanted a piece of the action. Now, let's continue. I'm going to skip a little bit of it because some of this is just talking about the history of the game, right? Which I think is pretty cool as well, but I want to get all the way into the sauce, man. So I want to skip ahead just a tad bit, and we're going to get into right here. So it says, while traditionally the WNBA has had to seek out host teams, they had to seek them out. Nobody was really raising their hand. But in this one, they say that wasn't the case for the 2024 game. So people were actually participating. They was like, hey, I want a piece of that in 2024. But traditionally, they had to seek them out. My goodness, man, what is going on? The Phoenix Mercury won that bid over 3 other interested parties, according to team president Vince Kozar, right? So basically, like I stated, in 2024, they were raising their hands. Before that, or most of the time, no. They're seeking people out. So Kozar ended up stating the initial piece of it was sort of raise your hand if you're interested, and then we'll dive deeper on what your vision for it is, what you would do with it, why you want it, and if you have the infrastructure. So it was raise your hand, pick somebody, let's hear your plans. And if your plans were good enough, we'll go with you. Skipping ahead just a tad bit, this is another interesting part right here. Every All-Star game comes with an operating agreement that includes shared costs between the league and the host team. Matt Ishbia, who owns the Mercury and Sons and has a net worth of $9.2 billion according to Forbes. Man, they are all in this man's pocket. That man is getting to the bag. Gave the mandate that the franchise needed to turn the weekend on its head, according to Kozar. So the president of the Mercury team was like, hey, you better get to the bag, fam, because we got to split the cost here. Interesting. So let's keep going. It says that meant sparring no cost. That approach applied to the players' accommodations, which were at a luxury resort instead of downtown hotels, and to the lavish parties and receptions the team hosted. Kozar declined to put a figure on what it cost to throw the 2024 All-Star game, but said the team spent 200 times more than they did the last time they hosted in 2014. Oh my goodness. Now, I would think that'd be an economy thing. You know, everything is getting a tad bit more expensive, right? But let's continue. Since Phoenix hosted last year, the belief by a number of team executives is that hosting requires an owner willing to lose a substantial amount of money. Losing money? What is going on with that? So owners think if you're hosting the All-Star game, you're bound to lose some money. They're saying there's no benefit in hosting the All-Star game. That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work. And then Kozar ended up saying, yo, I really don't know about them hosting this, man. Shout out to them, but it's going to be tough. And when we scroll down some more at the bottom, it gets even more interesting. Kozar ended up talking about how he don't think it's possible to host an All-Star weekend or All-Star game without NBA resources. Mind you, he owns the Suns, so he has a piece of that NBA franchise resource coming into his pocket to help pay for that. The Chicago Sky don't necessarily have any NBA resources. All right, so let's get into what Kozar had to say about this entire situation. A ton of props to Chicago for what they are undertaking. Kozar said, if we didn't have the resources of our entire organization and Player 15 group, we would not have been able to put on the All-Star game the size and scope of which we did. To do that as an independent team, that's a massive undertaking manpower-wise. So he like, yo, I don't know how y'all are going to do this. I don't know how you even volunteered to do this, but hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. Because it took that manpower from my franchise in the NBA to get me over that hump. Now, granted, you know, they have the biggest NBA arena. So maybe they're banking on, hey, if everybody come to the game, we're going to make a massive killing on the income side. But as we saw this year, if Caitlin Clark isn't playing, man, that is a slippery slope to bet on, fam. Oh, my goodness. Slippery slope, man. Dangerous. Dangerous game to play. But who knows, man? Maybe they have it all figured out on how they're going to make the money. And maybe they're not trying to throw as big of an All-Star weekend as the Mercury did or as the Indiana Fever did. We saw what the Stud Buzz was showing, man. They had the city popping. All right, the city was popping. It was a lot going on in Indiana, fam. I'm going to tell you that much. But, yeah, man, it is very interesting to see this come out because I know a lot of us were asking the question, how do they even go about picking a team? And come to find out, nobody really wanted to do it. So they ended up giving it to the Chicago Sky, the only team that said, hey, we'll do it. Man, was that a smart move? We'll see. Because they do have that facility that they are trying to build. And it was allegations out that they weren't making payments. The reason that process stopped. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they figure that out. Quick story about this one right here, though. Alyssa Thomas ended up leaving Unrivaled for the year after. Not this year, next year. We'll say next year. Ended up leaving for next year to join Project B. She ended up dropping this video, quick video, just saying how happy she is. Check this out.
What's going on? Alyssa Thomas here with some exciting news. I am looking forward to joining Project B.
There it is, man. She is looking forward to joining Project B. Oh, man. Already, Unrivaled losing players. Like I stated, that NECA move, that was a power play, fam. And they might just pull players right from Unrivaled. Might pull them right from Unrivaled, man. Who's next? I think Angel Reese might be next now that they're trying to go for that big money. As they stated, they were trying to make that contract for Caitlin and Angel. So we'll see, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. How do y'all feel about the process of getting picked to host the All-Star game, man? How do y'all feel about the Chicago Sky being the only team to say they want to do it? Wow. And then also, how do y'all feel about Unrivaled losing players to Project B already, man? Let me know in the comment section. I love y'all. Y'all keep it smooth.